Okay, welcome, Emily.
Hello, thank you for having me.
Oh, it's so great to have you. Your sister Megan was really fun to talk to as well. And how far apart in age are you two?
We're not even 2 years apart, so we're super close.
Oh my gosh, me too with my sister. She's 18 months older.
Oh yeah, we're in the same, pretty much same boat. Yeah.
Yeah, and I have like you guys have like the same personality split in two, and me and my sister have the same personality split in two. So I'm like
Yeah,
I'm excited to like hang out with the other sister.
I think we probably have a lot of similar, maybe life experiences, or like even our musical experience are similar, not the same.
Yeah,
Oh
totally.
yeah,
It's like again, like with my sister, it's like you kind of grow up watching the same TV shows and you're
yeah, exactly.
like starting things at the same time and like all of the embarrassing parts of adolescence together.
So they see it and rub it in your face, you're like, shut up. Yeah, I know, for sure, for sure. It's good though. It's good. I'm glad we were close because it's harder if you have like you're entering high school and you've got older siblings leaving high school. I mean,
Hmm.
it can work, I guess, but no, it worked really well for us to be close in age for sure.
And I guess like that kind of makes you to like heart. I was trying to think of other pairs of female rock musicians that are sisters.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure we'll touch on this maybe a bit later, but and I'm sure Megan might have had a similar answer, but um, for me, getting into heavy metal and getting into that music, aside from maybe like Karen Carpenter in the 60s or Sheila E. who went into pop, there were no there was no female drummer in your face available for easy access on the TV, on the radio. There wasn't.
Yeah.
So um yeah, I can't even think of a duo off the top of my head. I'm sure later it'll come to me, like everything else in my life comes to me after the fact. But yeah, so I think a lot of us similarly will probably have more in the early years, maybe male influence, because that's really what we were exposed to and what we
Yeah,
saw. And
absolutely.
those early internet days where it was hard to like dig deep into things and find, the kind of rarer tapes and CDs and things like that, right?
Yeah, totally.
We're already in such a small subgenre. Like none of my friends growing up, zero of them listened to the music I listened to. So I didn't have someone to be like, "Have you heard this? Did you know it?" It was like Megan and I.
Yeah.
Yes,
Oh, that's so
right.
cool.
I
I
didn't
love
have
that.
an outside group. And when you're 14 and you're like, "Oh, that guy has a Metallica shirt," I'm not gonna go talk to him. I'm 14. Way too scared to go talk to that guy in grade 12 that has a Metallica shirt.
Yeah.
I think like the biggest loser ever. Um, so yeah, it was really a small world of us.
Yeah, totally. And I just noticed I mean, I noticed on your Instagram that you had shared this Ed Guy song that I really like. And it's like not super common to find people who like Ed Guy. And then you also covered a Tyrant Pace song. And I was like so excited about that. I was like, these are two of my favorite bands to listen to. And they are like, there aren't like that many people that are listening to Tyrant Pace. So
Yeah, no, definitely not Tyrant Pace. Ed Guy, I mean, now he has Avantasia, so that because it's multi vocalist and it's touching on a lot of different genres, maybe there. I wonder if Avantasia's got bigger, but yeah, Ed Guy's in the underground.
yeah, I feel like
People,
that guy got really popular in Europe like when it
yeah,
was like new. Okay. Now enough about those guys.
yeah.
Let's talk about you. Please tell people who you are and what you do.
Who I am, what I do. My name's Emily. I am a drummer. We're actually in my studio right now. This is the only quiet place in my house. Ironically, usually it's the least quiet.
That is funny.
It's not in my house. It's a studio. And I'm a drummer. And I drum in a band called Axxion. We're a heavy metal outfit out of Canada. I'm also a drum educator. This is what I do out here, half of the time anyway. What else am I? I'm a registered veterinary technician. So that was
Oh,
my other kind of love while I was doing music. I was also in the animal world. And I'm also a mother. I have two lovely kids, and they're kind of my favorite things in the whole planet. So,
nice.
yeah.
You have a very rich life.
I do. I've had lots of experiences, and none of them are similar. Just randomly
Yeah.
pick something and go with it.
So
So, yeah.
many, yes. It sounds like a very fulfilling life that you lead. You know, you have like two kids, animals in your life, you're teaching, and you're a rock goddess.
Try to
It's,
be.
you're like Barbie.
I'm too short to be Barbie, but maybe if it's on the stilettos, yeah. Uh,
This tall though.
yeah, no, I mean, I want to say I'm very lucky, and I am very lucky, but I don't want to undermine the hard work that goes into,
Oh,
right,
yeah.
achieving something difficult, right? Because, I am lucky to have access to certain things and access to the way that we live our lives, but, at the same time, it takes a lot of hard work and dedication and time and finances and
Yeah.
putting your goal into one very specific thing to make sure that goal happens. So, yeah, lucky and busted about
Hardworking.
hard
Yeah.
work.
You
Yeah.
earned it. That's
So,
amazing. Super cool. I think there's only been one other rock goddess who started a family in the
hmm.
space. Yeah. Okay. So when did you first realize that you loved rock, metal music, and that you wanted to create more of it?
Yeah, so I had a kind of a hard intro to it, I guess. Even a hard intro, because what we had access to growing up was like MTV. So I would see Blink 182 and Green Day and whatever was kind of popping up on the top 30 countdown or whatever it was. And I had an inkling, like I liked that stuff, and I knew his genres, like hated it, and I liked the rock stuff. And then my brother, we have an older brother, he's 4 years older than me. And so he was in high school, and for some reason, I stuck into his room and stole some CDs out of his room to listen to. And the first heavy metal album I heard was the Black Album. And it's funny how many people that album was so life changing for them. I don't know if it's just
Hmm.
the timeline of the generation, maybe, but I heard that album and I was just like, what is going on? And that just opened a whole world.
Hmm.
And it was kind of weird because, again, early internet days, and I didn't have a lot of money. I'm just like a young teenager, so I kind of stole all his CDs. So it went from like the Black album to like Creator, and then Ingve Malmsteen, and then it was just all over the place. So yeah, that was kind of my early introduction, and then I started to be able to find out. So when I was a young teenager, first getting into it, Iron Maiden for sure, lots of Ingve Malmsteen, lots of Megadeth, obviously lots of Metallica, kind of those classic, right? Um, what do you want to call them? Gateway bands?
What did you say? Called them what?
Gateway bands. They like
Gateway
they're
bands?
your
Okay.
gateway into, right?
Yeah.
And I'm trying to think where my drumming timeline fit into that. I think I had started drumming before that, but that just it was exponential after that. I had to do everything Nick O'Brien was doing and learn these albums front to back. It's so easy when you're so motivated. You just hear it and you're like, I can do that. Do it.
Love that.
That's
Um,
basically.
yeah, Metallica, right. That's a total gateway band.
Yeah, I mean, I think it depends where they have such a long timeline too.
Hmm.
So like the early fans, early Metallica. You
Right.
think of Kill 'Em All and Ride the Lightning.
Hmm.
Those fans probably aren't gonna be as interested in the like reload era and the
Right.
garage thing or whatever. Um, so yeah, they're multi-generation as well,
That's
but they could be a gateway into so many genres, right? Like Kill 'Em All could be your thrash gateway
mm,
album. the Black album. I don't know where you'd go with that. Maybe a lighter genre, but and now I have totally. I'm just all over the place with genres. With I'm pretty. I don't really like this, but I'm stuck in the metal genre. But there's so much going on in metal that you can kind of pick what you want anyway. I wish I had a better ear. I love hearing people that are like, oh, I love, this pop band, or I like this R&B group. And I'm like, oh, I just can't. I listen to it, I don't like it. So,
Okay.
yeah. But I'm all over the world.
Oh, and you didn't mention that some of your past projects, you were on Skullfist's EP, Head of the Pack. That was you.
That was me, yes. And so we did the EP, and then we did the full length album. And I'm actually not, well, I am credited somewhere in there, but that was during the time of the leaving. Yeah, so I'm put in there like drums done. And that was I was under the moniker of Allison Thunderland at that time, so it wasn't my actual name. And when I left that band, I did carry that on for the Axxion EP, and then I was kind of like, you know what, I think I just want to leave that kind of behind. And people still refer to me as Allison though, and it's like, come on,
Yeah,
I have my name out there. It says it now.
It does say Allison Thunder on the Metal Archives.
Yeah, I think it might say my name in brackets underneath.
If you search for Emily Merrick, it brings you to that page with that name, but it is tied to your name, so that's good.
Yeah.
And then you also had a project called Phantom.
Yes, I did. That was super fun. So Phantom already had existed. They're also a Toronto heavy metal outfit, and so was Skullfist from Toronto, our headquarters. And yeah, they were just looking for a drummer, and Dee Dee, the guitar player, and Jeff, the bass player, I've known them for forever. Jeff had actually come and started to do bass with us for the Axxion EP. It's such a small community of people like swapping bands. So we never actually ended up getting to the recording part with Phantom. We did lots of shows, and it was so fun. But actually just took up so much of my time that I couldn't really commit to writing and doing shows with both bands. So it ended up being, sorry guys, I gotta pick like my project. I made Axxion. Devin and I sat on a couch and said, what are we doing next? Because we were both out of bands, and what's the name? And let's do it. And here's the songs. So it was my thing.
You found a really cool, distinct voice for that project too. The singing, there's a lot of falsetto and a lot of like really nicely done trills in that. But yeah,
I guess, well, yeah, I mean, I can't obviously take credit for that. Though a lot of people, not a lot, some people think I'm the singer.
Oh, yeah. I didn't think that you were. It sounds like a man.
Yeah, I know. I was like, oh, I don't know if I'm like, thank you or no.
It's a no. It's going to be a no.
No. I wish I could sing. I think if I could sing, I would want to be at the front. I think I have that front of the stage energy. I want to be there in people's faces. I don't know, whipping people with chains or something would be great. But I'm stuck at the back. And usually people half the time don't see me or don't even know who the drummer is in the band. One, I'm very short. Two, we have so much fog half the time. People have like no clue. So sometimes I enjoy being the mystery person.
Okay.
Nobody knows.
So if Axxion was a movie soundtrack, what would the movie be about?
What would the movie be about? I think it would probably be some kind of like party meets national lampoons. There's not too many serious overtones. We don't get into, the melancholy of life and the hard topics of, angst and suicide and death and abuse and addictions. And we don't really go down the deep, dark roads. And we don't go down the fantasy roads either, really too much. So Yeah, I don't really like to say it's party music because it's not, but if I had to slot it somewhere, it would be in the kind of, yeah, get up, get around, get goofy kind of music.
Cool.
Yeah.
Cool. Playful.
Yeah.
Um, okay. And if you could collect any three vinyl records of all time, what would you like to have?
I'm not a big vinyl person. Um, I do tend to go for CDs because then I can blast them in my car and
Okay.
sing as loud as I want. No one will ever hear my voice. Kenny's got lots of vinyl, but if I could get anything physical that I don't have, would probably be Heavy Loads, Death and Glory, and Heavy Loads Stronger Than Evil.
Mm,
Both of those.
mm.
Those albums, I can't think of anybody that I know that loves Heavy Loads. And I love them so much. And they actually put out a new record, and I haven't listened to it because you know when you love something so much, like
Oh,
older bands,
mhm.
and it's been 10, 15, 20, 25 years, and you put out something that you're like, I'm gonna ruin it, or it's the what if. It's the what
Yeah.
if. And I'm such a wuss about that because I also haven't listened to the new Iron Maiden because it's like untouchable, the older stuff. And I don't know, I will eventually listen to it. But so those two for sure. And I don't know, maybe Sonata Arctica's Reckoning Night. Is that what it's called? They had a live version of the album announced, but the title's mixed up. But God, I love that album. I can still listen to that. It's been what, 15 or 20 years since I've been out. I can listen to it every day if I want to. It's so addictive.
Oh, it's so great when you can find albums like that.
Yeah,
And those are the ones that you want to have on vinyl because it's not easy to it's not as easy to skip a song on vinyl. And like you really have to listen to the full album when you're listening to vinyl, or at least side A.
yeah,
And
right.
there's there's some albums in my life like that where it's only side A or it's only side B, but like I will listen to that whole side of it.
That's so funny. Yeah, I know some people get into singles, and but rarely do I have an album where I don't know if a vibe of a whole album comes together or what it is, but you for the most part, if I like an album, I like the whole thing. There's a couple that I could think of where I'm like, I could do with this song, but yeah, I don't know, I get so into it. Like if I like one song, I'm probably gonna like the rest of what's going on.
You know what for me it is like the song order will affect how much I like to listen to like the sequence of the album because
Okay.
it's like a high energy song and then it leads into like kind of a ballad or a downer and then it goes back to a high energy song.
Right,
It's
okay.
like that's like bipolar. I don't want to like I want it to be like give me a side A that like has a mood
Gotcha.
and then a side B that has a mood instead of like flip-flopping.
I think the bands logistically, they don't want to put you to sleep probably, so they don't want to go high energy and then it's all kind of if you got three slower songs, probably don't want to put that all at the end.
Hmm.
I'm just trying to think like why. So they probably put like the hit song and then they're like, okay, this one's maybe not as strong of a song, but we want it on record, pop it here, get them back into it. I don't know. There's I'm sure logistics to it.
It's something to ponder. Um, okay, so if you could create a lineup for a festival, what bands would you put on that festival?
Oh my
Dream
god.
festival.
Oh man, I probably should have thought about this question a bit more.
Who
This
fits
would be
together?
nobody. This is welcome to my crazy land of nothing makes sense fest. Maybe we
Uh,
can have stage like the fire stage and the chain stage and the death stage. I don't know. We can all one
nice.
different stage. Who would I want? Do they have to be live? Okay, one band I love, absolutely love, is that they're like a melodic death metal band out of Finland called Insomnium. So they can go over here on the death stage. For sure, Sonata Arctica, let's be realistic, we gotta have those guys somewhere. Can we get Doro Pesh? Doro here somewhere, anywhere. I know I saw that. I love that shirt. Um, oh man, who else? We need some power metal people in there. There is a band that I love and my daughter loves out in BC called Unleash the Archers. They're Canadian.
Yeah, I've seen
And
them.
you've seen them.
Yeah,
Seen
I
them.
just in Chicago.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
So we actually played with them in the early Skullface days.
Hmm.
But I don't really remember the where of the games. It happened. But yeah, they're right up in the power metal genre now. Ooh, I don't even know. I could just like throw bands at you. I'd love to see Ensiferum. They're also a Finnish kind of metal band.
Yeah.
Oh man, maybe Symphony X. Where can we put them? We
Oh,
need another
okay.
stage. Symphony X stage.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I said, girl, I'm all over this. I'm all over the place.
I'm
You
loving
may,
it. I'm going to this festival.
yeah, well, get Heavy Load for sure in there somewhere. Man, I don't even know. I should look around at my posters and be like, who else do I want to
Oh,
see?
well,
You know, when people ask me like, who's your favorite this? I'm like, I forgot all the bands I listen to. I don't know. I don't know anything. I'm sure I'll come up with like 50 good ones as soon as we end
awesome.
it.
Well, I think that sounds like a great fest. I actually like that you split the stages up by like umbrellas of genre. Um, okay. Looking back, what was a big decision you made in your life that turned out to be a great choice?
I have lots of those, luckily. Lots of bad ones too, but I'm not gonna pick on those, I guess. Lots of good ones. Obviously, playing music, and I mean, had a lot of encouragement with that, but sticking with music for sure. Marrying my husband was probably one of the best things I could have done. Just, I don't know, no words. Very, very lucky. You know, even my going to school and getting my degrees and stuff, that worked out really, really well for me. And I think though probably the best thing would be becoming a parent, honestly. That's going to sound very cliche,
What
but
was it?
becoming a parent,
Oh,
which yes, might sound a little bit cliche, but
no.
it's so fun. It's so difficult. It's so exciting. It's so, I don't know. And my
Oh,
kids are a little bit older, so they're 6 and 3. And the baby years are so hard for me. Some people love babies, but I'm kind of like, it's a raisin. But you know, I like my own raisins. Other raisins, I'm like, well, you can keep them to yourself. But now we're just like in adventure mode. And you know, they want to do stuff. They want to go on adventures. They want to go hike in the forest. They want to have play music. They want to just it's all fun right now. And I'm so into it. Not to say that I wasn't before, but yeah, that's worked out well for me. That's worked
I
out
love
well.
that. And it's not a cliche answer because there's really only two mothers that have ever been on this show. Ursula from a band called T-Rocks in Seattle has a son, and
Oh
she is so amazing and wild. She had her baby and took her newborn on tour with her in the
my
van.
gosh, I know. I see people doing this. You know, it's not that common. Floor Jansen from Nightwish did
Oh,
that. Now
oh,
she obviously has some kind of support with the label, and they're a much larger band, Nightwish. But the singer from Unleash the Archers also has like a year and a half baby. And I don't think baby's coming on tour because again, they're like a smaller band. But man, it's like I see them and I'm just like, you go, do
yeah.
it.
I've
You
got
have the support.
it gave me goosebumps. That is so
It's incredible.
oh, like
Yeah.
women are amazing.
Women are amazing, but we can't do it by ourselves. And that's why this is, you know, tricky. I think maybe the biggest reason that Action isn't able to tour because both Kenny and I are in the band. And if one of us was in the band, then maybe one of us could stay. But I think for also a lot of these people that are able to do that, they have maybe a large family group or family support. And when that's not available to you, like, what are you going to do? You can't. You
Yeah.
are here. You are
Yep.
here.
Yep. Yep.
So it's amazing that she brought the baby on tour, but she's on stage at some point. There has to be a support person to like watch
Yeah.
it, right? So
Yeah. 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 Yeah, I'll have to put you two in touch with each other because you'll probably have a lot. You'll probably get a lot from that friendship.
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, it's like you said, it's a small community, even smaller. With
Yeah,
Team
super
Mom,
small.
Team Mom.
And then I gotta try to get the singer of Unleash the Archers to come talk about how she's doing with that.
Oh man, you should. She's a fantastic interviewee.
Hmm.
So down to earth, and I mean, I met her so many years ago, but it takes a lot of work to book like a world tour, write an album, and breastfeed a baby, and make music videos, and change a diaper, and oh, we have to have a nap, and like, geez,
Wow.
and her husband's also in the band, so it's like double whammy as well. They're making it work. They're making it
That's
work.
incredible.
It's crazy.
I'm very
Kudos to
impressed.
them. Like, you go, please,
Yeah.
go for it.
I am very impressed. Um, and with you as well. So, okay. That's a big decision, and it was a great choice. What's your favorite gear or stage wear that you own?
Okay, when I first saw this question, I was like, oh, there's nothing really. And then when I actually thought about it, like there's so many things, the minutiae of the first thing being in terms of like what I wear, I need the entire arm and neck and chest, whatever, cut out of my shirt because the motion required, like I could probably wear a baggier shirt like this, but then you're sweating from the moment you're on the stage to the moment. So definitely a cut out. Just I need space. I need breathability. I had made the mistake of being very freezing cold going on stage and wearing like a leather jacket.
Oh.
And then two songs in, you're like, it's glued to you. You're like, if I don't get this off between that talking and me being the counting in person, you're like, oh shit, why did I wear this? So, yeah, just wear the cutoff shirt. You're gonna be the lights are on you. You're gonna be sweating to the no leather dip. And a drum key. A drum key for sure, because you never know what's gonna fall on you, especially when you're not using your own gear and you've set it up. If you're doing like a shared kit, right? And things are just wobbly and they're like, you have to make sure it goes this way and don't forget the tape. Oh, God damn it. Okay. So drum key. I used to wear one on a necklace whenever I play shows.
That sounds so cute. That is
necklace.
Adorable.
And you know what? I've been to shows where guys are doing setup and I'm like, does anyone have a drum key around here? It's like, yep, I happen to have one.
Oh my God, I love that. You have like the amulet.
Totally. I'm like, your floor tom will not stand.
Take this.
They're always shocked, like, what? You're so small. What are you doing with that?
Oh my gosh.
Right. They don't never say anything, but it's just like a shock to see someone whip that out of their like neck. I used to have one on a bracelet sometimes too, but it whacks around. That was a stupid idea. What else do I need? I'm left-handed, so I'm also left-footed. So I actually have to bring a special pedal because I use 2 double kicks. So that's a bit of a pain in the butt, but I do have to do that. And as much as I don't want to be a snob maybe, but my drumsticks, because every drummer is different and they come in different sizes, different lengths, different tips, different wood, different weights. Like it's a whole world. And so I have a brand that I've been using forever, Lost Cabos. Actually, wearing their shirt. Lost Cabos drumsticks. They're Canadian. And I was getting so sick of using other kind of big brand drumsticks. And we'd go into rehearsal and first crack on the snare. I remember this more than once. Crack the snare and the stick just like breaking in half across the room. And I went into, at that time, my local drum store and being like, guys, come on. And they're like, these guys are Canadian. Trust me. And they're legitimately the best sticks. They're like unkillable. So yeah, so use those. And that's probably it. I'd say maybe a good pair of ear. I wear in-ear monitors when I practice, but we don't really need these for live, but they do block out a good sound, so ear protection of some sort, just so it kind of does balance out. I mean, it protects you, obviously, but it does kind of muffle out some of the trebles and stuff and cuts it down so you can just hear the framework
Hmm.
of what you need to play along to.
Does anyone in your band play along to a click track in their in-ear monitors?
We do not. We do not. So you need like a module to be able to do that.
Okay.
And I think if we had backing tracks, so if we had orchestrations or synths that we had to like line up with, we'd have to. But no, we haven't gone there. We've never done that. I don't know if the guys would be interested in that. That being said, it would 99% be me that's playing to play, right? Like they're probably just gonna follow my lead.
Yeah. So
But
I was I was having a conversation with somebody in a big band, and I didn't know that like I don't know all the terminology for this, but like the line in that goes to the sound guy,
okay.
they can cut that off before a guitar solo and they play a recorded track live, and then they can turn it back, they can switch back to the live line instead of the recorded line, and like a ton of big bands do this
Over the guitar solo.
yeah. And the sound guy, there's the way that it's set up, the sound guy at the venue doesn't know it's happening. It's like just something in a pedal somewhere. And I also learned that a lot of people in like that level of band are they don't hear each other when they're playing live. They all play to click tracks.
Crazy.
Isn't
I mean,
it?
I'm not entirely surprised. I know for sure there are bands that overdub the vocals and stuff too and pretend that the backups are happening or pretend that even the lead is happening and whatever. So that doesn't entirely surprise me. I would say that it takes away from the experience of, first of all, playing the show.
Yeah.
How anticlimactic. So you're like,
Yeah.
like, what? That's not why I joined the band. That's what I have to do here when I rehearse by myself. I want to be in the moment. Like, how can you? It's so inauthentic. How can you? You know, the guitar player comes over to you and you're like pretending you can hear them. Like, yeah, this sounds great. You have no idea.
Yeah. Or like just the sort of like team sport of playing music with each other and like the victory of things lining up correctly. It's like
We're
with
just so obsessed with perfection.
and well, they probably also have these expectations to fulfill that like would take a lot of hard work, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, the reality is if you wrote that record, you recorded those parts, you can do it. You're the one who wrote it. You can do it, right?
You can do it.
And then as an audience member, maybe knowing that, or, you know, I would just be like, no.
Yeah.
Ruin it.
I mean, basically, like, I think it's like, I mean, if a band has like millions of Spotify listeners, they're probably playing to a click track when they're live.
And if you have millions of Spotify listeners, you're probably also at the level where you are incorporating things that maybe require a click track. So you probably do have maybe like some orchestration or some synth or some background, you know, effect or some choir, right? That you can't bring all that on tour. You're not going to bring your 86, you know, unless you're like Dimmu Borgir and you do a one-off show. You have this massive choir.
So I guess it's really useful to play with those assists live if they're if like trying to like find the nice words for this. If there's somebody that like struggles to keep time in the band.
Well, as the person who's the timekeeper, I will say that, well, yeah, I guess it could go two ways. If you are a drummer, you have trouble staying on time, using a metronome live will probably burn you alive because if you can't stay on time, the click's probably not going to like help you that much, I guess. Like you'll probably end up falling off of it, right? But if you have that one guitar player that's like la 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 la, but then you are the click, so the guitar player should be able to stay to you too. So I don't know. I don't know if it would help if you have trouble with staying on time. But maybe if you're one of those people that starts the songs way too fast, sometimes that would be it would be even just like 4 clicks to help you like, okay, that's the speed, and let's stay with that. Because sometimes when you're on stage, you're like, let's go. 240 BPM.
So what's a performance memory that you'll never forget?
I have a good one. I have a good one for this. We were in Spain with Axxion, and we were playing a song. We had a set list, but during one of our songs called Savage Avenger, there's a bit of a proggy like middle section where the timing gets a little the feel goes a little bit, yeah, proggy feel. And there's no singing, and it kind of goes on for a little while, and there is I told Devin, our singer, and said, listen, go in the crowd during this part and like still run in the crowd and just be like, ooh, they suck, they can't play this, right? Like goofing around with the crowd. And for whatever reason, the middle of that proggy section, I just like completely blank. Like I have no thoughts in my brain. Like not where I am, not what I'm doing. It's not like I forgot the song. I just like beep, shut down completely. So, and then the crowd has no idea. They're just like, yeah, I must have timed out nicely or something. And they're all cheering, and so the guys kind of regroup and like, go from the solo. I'm like, okay, back and do it. And then Devin after was like, what the heck was that? You told me to go in the crowd and be like, oh, these guys, they're playing this like hard kind of middle section, they suck, and then you stopped. Self-fulfilling prophecy, like, oh, so good, so good. So embarrassing at the time, but afterwards it was like, it happens. Good thing I didn't have a click. Would have gone on without me. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Okay. After a long day of doing all the things, how do you like most to do self-care?
It's funny now, I would say more so than ever, music is my self-care. Because my day usually starts at like 6 and it usually ends around 8 with the kids. So, in that kind of free 1 to 2 hours, showering, yes, I have to do that, but I don't enjoy that as like, I'm like, I gotta get this out of the way so I can do this. So for sure, music. And I feel like I still have 2 listen to lists that's never ending. And there's always something that's getting added on. I just found another band today that I was like, oh man, out of Germany, I gotta check them out. And so definitely music. I'm a huge reader. I love reading. Give me a book, I'm into it. And I read kind of the nerdy genres, I guess.
The nerdy genres?
Nerdy.
Like sci-fi, fantasy, that kind of stuff?
Yeah, Brandon Sanderson, Lord of the Rings, Dune, all that kind of. That's up my alley. But I will go out of that genre once in a while. So yeah, and then coming out here to drum, it can be hard because sometimes, when you are at the end of the day and you've been up for so long and you've just ran around all day, it's hard for me sometimes to want to come and go for like a 5K run behind the kit, Some
right.
days I wish I just learned guitar better, so then I could just go and write something on guitar. And that's not to say it's not too late. I don't think it's too late to learn that, but it can be challenging with this instrument sometimes to be like, I'm gonna have a relaxing drum session because most of the stuff I want to play requires some energy and some muscle and some So that it kind of is a cycle. Some weeks I'm like, I just want to read every day. And then some weeks I'm like, I gotta drum, I gotta get it out. I'm so ready, I'm so motivated, I have so many ideas. So, but yeah, that's kind of it. My husband is slowly but surely working on building a sauna outside. So
a sauna?
Sauna, yeah. So we're hopefully going to be out there. That will definitely be high on my self-care list. Just throw a bucket of water on me. I'll be so happy.
Love it. Cool. All right. Well, that makes a lot of sense. Like fantasy novels are a great way to escape.
Yeah.
Everything about the genre in film and in books and in art and in music and metal, right? Like
Man,
fantasy. So
Rhapsody of Fire has just made an entire life on its own fantasy world.
Yes. And that's just like another band that I really love. I feel like you just like talked about so many of the bands that I really love, which is great. And I like your band a lot too. Actually, what's funny is Rhapsody of Fire, their name and everything, since they couldn't be Rhapsody anymore.
Right.
That's kind of what happened with my band Jupiter. I just wanted it to be called Jupiter. And then like somebody had mentioned early on that there was like a radio rock band called Jupiter. And
Okay.
like, oh, that's okay, because they're not in metal and like
Hey.
they're not contemporary either. But then I saw their logo like later and it looked a lot like our logo. And I was like, all right, so we're gonna have to Rhapsody of Fire this and no
Yes.
Metal of Jupiter.
But that's actually, it's almost cooler.
It's more power metal, right?
Well, yeah, yeah. I don't know. I'm into it. I'm loving it. I love your
Thank you.
voice
Oh,
on
thank
what we've
you.
heard so far. I have to say, it was not the voice I was expecting. I don't know what I was expecting, but man, I was just like,
Yeah, it's hard for anybody to expect my voice.
is it? Is that like a common thing people say? I think it's the range. Maybe you don't expect the range to be as I didn't expect it to be that high as it was, I guess. And I'm just like, yes, oh, I feel the power. I feel the
Oh,
energy
thank you. Thank you
coming
so
through.
much. I appreciate that. Okay, so do you have any new announcements for us?
I was hoping that I might have something. I haven't done an interview in so long. You know, Axxion is pretty well defunct in hiatus. And if there's any Axxion listeners, it's not what I want. It's not. I'm not the only member of the band though, and you know, I cannot force members to want to write and record and play. And so, as much as I want that to carry on with the current lineup that we have, it's not going to be. Um,
Well, the
Anytime soon. I keep picking away. It's like a scam. But I am working on some some other things, and I don't think I can say anything about it yet, other than I'm drumming on it, and it's. Ooh, I don't even know what I can really say about it. It's metal.
Mhm.
It's music, and I have some things that I want to do for myself too, which again can't really announce too much. I mean, I'm just mostly here in my own studio. I don't see how I'd be able to really tour too much right now. I haven't thrown touring out the window because I love it. And I know so many people don't like touring, but I love it. It's just, I like meeting people. I like going to shows. I love performing, being on stage, and I never get nervous about that stuff. I love it.
Oh, you are the first person I have ever met to say that.
No, for real?
I've never met anybody who said that they never get nervous.
Oh, oh,
Never.
I have like some kind of weird self-confidence about the drums. If
That's
you asked me to
amazing.
give a speech, I might poop in my pants. But 2,500 people buying this? Oh no, I love it. No, I don't. I mean, you get some adrenaline for sure, and maybe like a bit of a thrill from it. And you're kind of pumped, and but no, it's. I love it too much to. I don't have unbridled confidence for some reason. Maybe misguided, but
I don't know. It all seems to be working out very well for you. It's all really like coming together. I mean, it also takes a lot of confidence to be like, I still want to tour and I have two kids and my band is in hiatus. Like just like all of that together.
like an
Um,
irrational dream, right? But I'm clinging onto it. This piece of
keep
grass.
keep going. And I think that you're doing great. And bands,
Yeah.
everybody's bands go into hiatus and have lulls. Everybody's do.
Yeah.
So what's exciting about that is that like somebody might be able to sneak attack you for their band because you're not like overly committed to one right now.
Yeah, and you know what? The prospect, obviously, of touring and playing live shows is really difficult right now. But if the right project comes along, I would absolutely love to play and record and get creative. And that's kind of what I've got going on with in the
Oh,
background right now. I can't think of it. Eventually, hopefully, I'll be able to. But definitely, and it keeps me so motivated to have something because this can be a bit of a lonely instrument, if you can imagine just practicing. you play piano or violin or guitar or, you know, clarinet, you have a melody, you have a tune. Like a lot of this is rhythm and patterns and
True.
tempo, and so it can feel lonely, like, you know, when you're just have you ever watched Tenacious D and the Pick of Destiny?
Oh yeah.
And then Kyle goes off and he's just by himself. Oh, okay.
Wait, hang on. So I made this. It's a sculpture. It's a censer like what you would see at Catholic Mass.
Oh yes, okay, yeah.
But the inside of the epoxy, I put this pink pick of destiny because my like rock goddess stave thingy.
Yes, so good.
So yeah,
So
it's definitely influenced by Tenacious D. I love humor in my art and my metal. So
the way it
like
should be.
look at this
I
ridiculous.
love it though. He's like, Mama, up, up. He's styling it.
Moving on. Sorry.
But yeah, so it's kind of like that when they split up and he's got to sing. Kyle's just singing by himself, just the backups, right? The backup line. It sounds terrible. I'm like, that's me when I'm by myself, you know.
Um, well, that's super. I mean, it's like exciting. You're starting something new. We're going to be waiting for it. And then, you know, like what could be more in demand than a female metal drummer?
Oh man, I so hoped
Oh.
we were gonna like come onto this genre, this topic because,
Okay.
well, it's more so that like growing up, there wasn't, like I said earlier, there wasn't really someone to be a forerunner for young women or young girls that wanted to get into it. So you really did have to have your own interest and your own determination and your own, right, ability and confidence to want to do it. And now I'm seeing all these people in my generation. I feel like I should link these all to anyone that watches this channel and that is maybe considering getting into drums or something. But so many, like Samantha Landa, she's been in the scene for forever. She plays now in a band called Conquer Divide, and they're kind of like pop punkish.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna get that genre wrong. I don't know all the subgenres, but so and then there's her, and then there's Luana D'Ameto. She plays in a extreme metal band. So if you want like blast beats and fast kicks and, you know, all that handwork, there's someone out there that's doing it, and they exist, and that didn't exist for me growing up. To be able to, like, I can see a 13-year-old me watching her and be like, oh my god, she can blast beat, I can blast beat. And then you have prop drummers like Annika Niles. She's doing progressive drumming and winning awards for being a prog drummer as a female. And there's another prog drummer out of England, and her name is Kiara Drums on Instagram. And it's just this generation, and we're here, and we're drumming, and it's like people are recognizing that. And there's for sure people unforgetting. But and especially with Sam, you know, there's a huge drum company called Drumeo, and they do free drum lessons, paid drum lessons, subscriptions, all kinds of one-on-one with big drum artists. But she's also kind of a face of Drumeo. So not only does she play drums, she's like, you know, she makes videos and lessons and articles and stuff. And it's like, she is here. Someone is here who is a woman, and they know how to do it, and they're telling you how to do it, and you can do it too. And it's so cool to see that my generation being like, now it's our turn because we never got a turn. This is the turn. It's happening right now.
Yeah, totally. Like the reason I like this channel grew into existence was because I felt that like the female role models I needed to show me that like there is a way in, like you can get around the problems of the patriarchy in rock and metal. You can get in. And those were so obscured. I had like, you know, like, where are they? So this channel is like, well, here they are. And I know that like time goes so fast. It'll be 15 years from now, tomorrow, and there will be
Yeah.
a 15-year-old girl that will find this channel and she'll have everything she needs.
Or she's finding it today.
Yeah. That's
just
great.
bringing it today and being like, that voice, I want to be a singer. Because we've all had that person where that moment, like, I want to do that.
Yeah, we really, really need role models.
Yeah.
So, where can we listen to your music and how can we follow what you do?
Yeah. So if you want to listen to Axxion stuff, we're on Spotify, Apple Music, iTunes, wherever you stream. Or I finally got the earlier records up there. They were missing on there for a long time. So on Spotify at least. So we're up there. For me, right now I'm not doing like my own kind of music thing. But I throw up videos here and there, just drum ideas and things that pop into my brain. And I would love to be able to spend some more time doing covers because I just love doing it. And I feel like it, in a similar way, exposes people to bands or music that I think people need to hear and maybe they aren't necessarily hearing.
That is so fun. Just send me a list of the covers you want to do.
Ooh, okay.
I'll be your cover singer.
Oh, a singer. Yeah, I've just been doing drums, but hey, let's do it.
We got all the girls. We know where all the girls are now. We can grab people. It'll be our own Avantasia.
There is a thing called Joe Vantasia. There is a thing called Chaos Rising, and it's a female group of metal musicians, and they're kind of more on the extreme end of it. But they also do all female covers. So.
Oh, I love it. Well, we need a power metal version of that.
A power metal version. Okay, I'm gonna get my running speakers on, so I'm gonna have to like warm up for that.
Oh, it'll be so fun.
But yeah.
So then we're gonna play the vinyl game, and you've seen the show before, so you know how it's.
Yeah.
All right. So
I know what to do, but I'm not gonna know the answers. All right, let's do it.
So, hopefully this won't be too hard. I had a focus, but hoaxed or sweat?
Oh, poo. Since I've heard neither of those, I'm not gonna know what to say. But
and that is a totally great answer because many people watching this show also will not have heard of these two bands. They both have female drummers. And
I was thinking, I'm like, how is she gonna find? Okay.
So
now I have 2 more records to listen to. Add it to the list.
Yeah, Hoax is okay. You're gonna love the drum production on this album. I think it was 2023.
Oh, so this is brand new.
2022 album, a drum recording of the year. This was the best drum recording in metal of 2022, in my opinion. I think it just the production sounds like phenomenal. So, and then Sweat, much proggier, definitely much more rock. This is like more, it's like kind of doomy, I guess. Yeah.
Oh. You're gonna have to like type these out for me because I have the memory of a goldfish. So
you can just
go back to the video. Look at it. Yeah.
You know, and if you don't feel like rewatching the whole thing, just skip to the end because you know that about the 50-minute mark we'll be doing this. Okay.
All right.
School or Burning Witches?
Ooh, oh, interesting. I can't say I know either of them well, so I probably know them about the same. And I can't say that I've listened to either of those records. It's more of like a one-off. The Dark Tower, yeah. But I love the cover of that. That is up my alley.
Yeah. Also, 2 bands that have female drummers.
Right, for sure.
Burning Witches is like also really, really good production. The mix for me is like very modern, and I do prefer things that sound a little different than that. But when you look at like what new metal artists with women members, which ones of those are able to like get their music out to the most people, it is that style of mixing and production.
Okay, I can already kind of imagine what the sound is. It's like a warmer mix. Am I getting it kind of?
It's hard for me to say, but just being able to communicate that.
I think I know where we're going. Anyway, we shall listen to both the records, adding it to the list.
So
Here comes two more.
this pair is going to be outside the genre.
Yes.
So Lizzo or Demi Lovato?
Oh man, you know what? Everyone loves Lizzo, and I don't know a single Lizzo song. Though I will say my drum students bring in all kinds of stuff. Just bring me any genre. They see all my posters and they're like, bring me any genre. Same with Demi Lovato. Totally way out of my zone.
So Demi Lovato, not this album, but her album called Holy Fuck. She has like, okay, so these two artists have all girl bands.
Okay.
They're all girl backing bands. It's all women musicians that play for Lizzo. Same for Demi Lovato. But Demi Lovato,
Oh my gosh, I'm sorry. I do know Demi Lovato because their drummer is Brittany Nicole. What is her name? Yes, and she's great. And I forgot Bowman. Her last name is Bowman.
and I can't remember if it's Nita Strauss or Nita Hurricane. I get them a little bit mixed up sometimes.
They're the same. They're the same person.
Oh, well, that helps.
Yeah, I think she had her name changed. I don't know if she got married or she just changed it to her maiden and kept it. But yeah, because she was with Alice Cooper, and is she with Demi Lovato now? Yeah, because yeah. So I'm totally lying to you. I do know Demi Lovato, but that being said, I don't know Demi Lovato, but I do know their drummer because yeah, she's just fantastic, hardworking, and the energy on stage. The energy on stage, just
Yeah. So like I think that Demi Lovato, like I know she's so famous that people like don't want to like she's so famous that people don't want to like say that she's cool. But she's like she passes the vibe check for me for true metal because
the whole band does.
her band, yeah, her band is the people. Like they are us.
The one guitar player, I don't remember her name. Blonde. She has a half sleeve and it's just a cat, like in pose cat, full. And I'm like, I want that tattoo. It's so good. And Timo, I have my little Nella one. She was my baby. She passed away. But I'm like, when Timo goes, it's gonna be like full portrait.
Nice.
I saw it on her. I was like, well, I love it. And she has the I don't give up attitude. She's like, yep, assless chaps on stage tonight. There we go, guitar solo. Like, I love it. I love it. So good. The whole band.
And honestly, Demi Lovato herself, her singing is like, I mean, like the stuff that gets on the radio from her that sounds like more almost R&B is like not really that like great. But when you like go and listen to one of her full albums, you realize how amazing of a singer she is. Like incredible.
Yeah.
I'm like so impressed with what she can keep up. Okay. Susie Quattro or Joan Jett? We don't have any more drummers now, I think. Well,
yeah, I mean, again, I don't know. I mean, I know more of Joan Jett. Let's just put it that way.
so
But yeah, I miss the rock and roll. Like I went from pop punk television to like straight into Slayer. So the Joan Jett era I didn't hit that rock and roll era till like I'd already heard my metal stuff.
The significance of these two to me, and the reason that I pair them together is because Susie Quattro was on the cover of Rolling Stones, and that was 1975, the same year that Joan Jett formed the Runaways. And so it's like, here's an example of like role modeling.
It's there. It's out there. I mean, for sure, you can pick stuff apart, and you know, even with my daughter, she also loves Unleash the Archers. I don't know if I mentioned that earlier, and it's like, hey, do you hear her singing? Do you hear that voice? And same with Nightwish. I'll throw that on for my daughter. Hey, do you hear the singing? Or ABBA? Hey, you guys want Mamma Mia? Let's do it. And my son is starting to sing along to the tracks too. But it's like, you know, you can sing it if you want. They're here, and you know, I'm already. Dad plays guitar. I play drums, so she already has those. kind of influences, and she doesn't really want to do either of those things. But I do keep saying, you know, like, hey, if you play clarinet, I'll be happy. As long as you play music, just do something. Anything. Pick one.
Yeah. That's so great. You know, I don't know. I don't know how normal it is for people now, or like different families or cultures, to like encourage their daughters to make music or not. Like in my family, there was some encouragement, but not like, we weren't like really told to perform it. It was more like you need to learn a language, you need to learn an instrument, and you need to go to college. And like, it was
Right.
like finishing school instructions than it was like, you can be passionate and pursue this.
Okay, so I will say that we were in the similar boat. Growing up, our grandmother, you know, really was like, you have to play piano. And I think that did backfire a bit because none of us really ended up sticking with it. And I do regret that now, but we didn't like it. And I think about this sometimes too, that, you know, there was in pop culture, there was the Dolly Parton who was singing and playing guitar. So if your daughter comes up to you and says, I want to do singing. Okay, sure, we're going to do singing classes. I want to do whatever else, right? Even if you pick something obscure, like I'm going to play bass guitar or guitar, your parents would say, okay, that's fine, because like they've already accepted that thought. But a 13-year-old or 12-year-old kid going like, I want to do drums. Like, no, the girls don't, that's not a thing. Nobody drums as a girl. That's not, you're not in the Rolling Stones. You can't, you know? So
Yeah.
More difficult, I think, for girls to get into it with encouragement, because it's difficult in and of itself as an instrument. It requires a lot of space, it makes a lot of sound. Your neighbors might hate you for all eternity. So, and they have electric kits and stuff now, but you know, your parents could be like, unplug your electric guitar or go play clarinet in your room. And that's fine. Girls are allowed to do that, right? And so I think that maybe less so now, but yeah, it wasn't as, you know, pre-social media days where you could see other people doing these things. It wasn't like out in the open. And it wasn't something my parents thought I was whacked out. It came out of nowhere one day.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, even like trying to go for rock vocals, like I was always put in choir.
Yeah.
My dad was a pipe organist, and so every time he performed where I was in the choir. So sight reading, I'm good at that. But I didn't want to sing operatic symphonic metal. I wanted to sing rock. And so all the times I was told to shut the fuck up and stop trying to sing like Janis Joplin.
But choir is where, oh man, singing in choir, it's where you get all your power, all your like range. Choir's the best. I want to get my kids in choir if I can, because
Yeah, and
it's so cool.
Yeah, you learn so much. You learn so much about harmonies. You learn so much about sight reading. Like, okay, last round.
Okay, let's do it.
Fleetwood
Attack.
Mac. Yeah, Attack or Fleetwood Mac. So well, Fleetwood Mac didn't have a girl drummer, but we had Christine McVie.
I have no idea who Attack is, but that looks up my alley. That cover.
No.
Oh, you're so gentle and you protect them.
So,
Where
Lindsay is the name of the drummer. Just Lindsay.
are these guys from?
So I don't know, their label is in Italy, but yeah, so girl drummer in Attack.
Cool.
There we go.
Check it out. Add it to the list.
There we go. Yeah, now everybody has at least a small list started from this episode of women drumming.
Women drumming. I should send you some names and you can link it underneath and be like, check
Yeah,
out these drawings. They're gonna blow your
please,
mind.
please send me the links.
I'll send you the links. Where do you have space for all these records? They're like, you must have a massive shelf somewhere.
No, I don't.
Oh,
I have like maybe like 2 crates worth of albums.
oh,
Yeah.
manageable. Manageable.
Yeah. It would be cool if it was bigger, but you know what? Finding albums in rock and metal that have women in the band, not that money.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
yeah. But yeah. Okay. So thank you so much for your time today. I hope that you have a really nice Sunday.
Yes, thank you so much for having me. It's kind of warm and sunny-ish. It's trying to be sunny here, so be
Yay, go
outside.
enjoy it.
Go hide in the forest for a little bit.
Love it. Thank you.
Okay, thanks for having me. See ya.